Hello again. So you're back for more then, eh? Well, this is the often threatened PlayStation 3 collection video, which I've been promising myself I'd do for a long time. I've finally got a little bit of time, so I'll do it now. First off, let me say, I used to call PS3 owners saddos, because I was a proper 360 fanboy. I didn't see the point in paying extra for what I thought at the time only amounted to a Blu-ray player add-on, which I didn't see any need for. I thought the DVD was perfectly fine. My PS3 came to me at a bargain price. It was a price I really couldn't not turn down, and ever since then it's been the console I've actually played the most. I'm not sure if it's because of the free online play or whether there is something just a little bit more to the games than the 360 version. But anyway, these are the games I've got my little thoughts on them. We've got Uncharted, Drake's Desire. Fantastic game. It's everything what Tomb Raider, the last game, should have been. As long as you take out one little thing about it. My one little bugbear with this game is you get a certain point in it, and then all of a sudden you're assaulted by 11 million of these bad guys who come from nowhere. And what they tend to do is they start off down the middle, and they do flank, which I like the idea. Shows a little bit of artificial intelligence. But the problem is, once they get to the point where they've got you in like that triangle, you can't get out. You are dead. It's too easy on the parts where you've got to search for things and figure the traps out, and it's too hard when it comes to the shooting parts. But I'm still enjoying it. I'm quite close to the end, and I'm determined to finish it. A very good game, and I would give it a good 8 out of 10. Next we've got FIFA 09. Don't think I need to say anything about that one. We've got Resistance: Fall of Man. Love the single player. I love the idea of the first-person shooter set in that kind of environment. Well, the UK environment. Just seeing it set in Manchester was quite funny the first time. It scrolled across the screen that we were going to Manchester or we were going to York, which are all pretty local to me, local-ish, I'll say. It's a very enjoyable game. Again, I'm quite near the end of it. Online play, I don't know whether it's because I'm extremely bad, which I am, pretty much at any online game, or everybody else is just so good. I really can't get a good score online with this. But it's not like a dismissal. I will go back to it and play it online again. Next we have a game I never thought I would get, and it's turning out to be one of the most enjoyable games I've played so far, and that is Heavy Rain. From what I'd seen on the previews, it looked like it was more quick time events tacked onto like a little animated storyline. Yes, it is pretty much like you're playing a storybook tale in that there's only certain actions you can really take. It's sort of at points it reminds me of the old the Daniel Jackson or somebody, Steve Jackson, sorry, Daniel Jackson's of Stargate. Steve Jackson fighting fantasy books you used to read. But I find it like Shenmue 2 on the Dreamcast. It's on the original. It's quite a relaxing game to play. Even when the quick time events come, it's not really like there's that much stress put on you. So it's a good game for when I've took my medication and I'm just about to be zoned out into sleepy world. I like to put that on and and just get a little bit through it, and I'm really enjoying it. It's a good detective tale told from like 4 separate viewpoints, like the kid's kidnapped father, the cop looking for the kid, that kind of thing. Very recommended. I'd give that 9 out of 10 any day. Now, this was one thing I always wanted a PS3 for, and yet so far it's been one of the games I've enjoyed the least. I need to give it more play. I've not played it for a while. The last time I played this was just before I got rushed into hospital again. And that is Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots. Looks very pretty. I've played and finished every other Metal Gear game, on any system, other than Metal Gear 2 on the MSX, which I just can't afford. I will get back into it. I will. Honest. Now we go to what is probably my most played set of games. People should have already guessed them by now. That's Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. And Call of Duty Black Ops. When I first got my 360 years ago, it was because of I was owed a lot of back money, and I bought a LCD TV and a 360 at the same time. It came with Call of Duty and Modern Warfare and Halo 3. And I'd said I would buy a 360 when Halo 3 came out. Loved the first two. Hated the third one. So I tried Modern Warfare. And the single player, I thought, yeah, it's pretty good. Enjoying it, something different. Then I played online with a couple of my nephews and some people they knew who now are actually very good friends of mine. And I was hooked straight away. It's been the same with all of them, bar one. If you what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah. Not balls nose. There's one missing, and that's World at War, which was made by Treyarch, who actually made Black Ops. But World at War was cack. Everything about it was wrong. Single player didn't feel right. Multiplayer was awful. Every map was nearly every map was glitched. The perk system was pathetic, because once somebody got dogs, you knew for a fact they were getting like another 10 kills afterwards. The dogs went out and they just didn't stop. It was awful. Now, apparently dogs are in Black Ops. I wouldn't know because I can't get that much of a kill streak. Next we've got... This game was spoiled for me. Infamous. This game was spoiled for me by Prototype on the 360. Now it's basically the same game. Stories dissimilar, obviously. But I played Prototype to death. Then when I got the PS3, I got Infamous, and I was like, oh dear. I realised it is basically exactly the same game. I'm only about half the way through. Again, I will finish it because it's a vow that I am going to start to finish games now instead of just buying them and putting them in the pile. And we've got Haze, which was much touted as a killer app for the PS3. It's not bad. That's about it. That's all I can say for it. And we've got Little Big Planet, a fantastic game. It's a cutesy little puzzler type of thing. The joy of it though is making your own levels, which takes longer than it does to play them. And when you play them, you go, well, why the hell did I bother? But it's I don't know. There's just something addictive of it. Lastly, in games-wise, we have Motorstorm. Again, this was touted as the killer racing app, other than GT5, which has just finally come out. Quite good. Online, I find unfair because everybody beats me, and so it's just not fair. Now we move on to movies. Firstly, we have, now I don't know how well this will show up because it's got one of them weird hologrammy thing covers. Nightmare on Elm Street on Blu-ray. I was a big splatter fan back in the day from the original, well I'm going back to when I was watching movies. It was like the Hammer Dracula films and Frankenstein, things like that. But I was a big fan of splatter from things like Phantasm, the original Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th. This is one god-awful movie. That's all I can say about it. Next we have, now this people bugged me about watching this, about going to the cinema to see it, going to IMAX. It's the best thing you will ever see, they said. Avatar. Special edition thing with loads of other bits in. Big, giant, steaming pile of toss. It's an overindulgent wankfest of blue cack. I'm not a fan. And lastly, the one film which made me realise how good a medium Blu-ray could actually be, because throughout the movie, quite a lot of the scenes, and they're in what I assume is like standard definition for high def, but they've not been in Blu-ray. And then from something I read about the reviews, the rest of it is in the footage what was filmed for the IMAX or something like that. I don't understand the terminology, to be honest. But the film was fantastic. It's one of my standout films of the last, I'd say about the last 4 years, because there's not been a lot of anything good out lately. And that is The Dark Knight. Christian Bale, once again, I think he does play a good Batman. Got to be better than Michael Keaton. Anybody is better than George Clooney. Val Kilmer, you might as well have cast a fridge in the part of The Dark Knight. Very good. The extended extras on the movie are excellent. There's one part of it which is it's Gotham City News, and it's giving you like this newscast, and all along the bottom you've got these little scrolling news items of things what's happening, but it's all stuff that's relevant to the story, and it does open up a little bit extra to it, which I really liked. Anyway, that's it for my PS3 collection. My next video, and I promise it will be the next video, is the Philips Video Pack / Magnavox Odyssey 2 games, which got sent over by Old School MIC Gamer. I've got everything set up ready to do it. I've got the time to do it, so I will do it. Once again, thanks for watching, and if I don't see you for a week, I'll see you for a window.